My name is Aaron Bright. Everybody calls me AJ. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and automotive technician. This is Saya, my service dog. I'm from Clayton, Delaware. Today I brought in my 94 300ZX twin turbo, and its name is Lilith. Pretty excited. I have a degenerative spinal condition called syringomyelia. I actually have holes in my spinal cord. Over time, they fill with fluid and expand and push the fibers of the spinal cord apart. If they get much worse, I could end up paralyzed, so I have to be very careful about what I do, which is why I'm no longer in the Marine Corps. Saya is basically my ticket to a free and normal life. She's a mobility support dog, so she helps me pick stuff up so I don't have to bend over. She helps me stand up when I need it. She helps me with the laundry, and she's really just one of the best things that ever happened to me. I couldn't imagine having to rely on anybody else, especially being as independent as I am. Was really difficult transition, and she made it a lot easier and gave me my freedom, gave me my life back. So they're yeah. Service dogs it's a really difficult area because there's not really a whole lot of guidelines or laws when it comes to them, and it used to be a very niche kind of treatment for certain things. Recently, you've been seeing it a lot more with therapy and emotional support dogs, PTSD and stuff like that, where it's become a lot more prominent. But we're seeing more and more, especially among veterans, that like most of us don't really want to ask for help. It's hard to go to somebody and say, "Hey, I need help with something," or "Hey, can you help me with this?" With a dog, it's very different. They're always there. They don't judge. They don't complain, and it's unconditional. We don't have to feel embarrassed or feel like we're not strong enough when we've got our dog with us. They do something that really nobody else can, and it's very difficult to get these animals because of how much work goes into them. The amount of training, the amount of time and energy that it takes to train these animals and to then pair them with somebody is astronomical. And unfortunately, right now we don't really have the structure and the resources to provide service animals for everyone that needs them. So there's definitely a deficit at the moment. Veterans especially are the kind of people that don't ask for help. Very, very rarely will they reach out. It's very difficult for them, being as independent as they are. So it's a very, very difficult situation. I'm sorry. There's so much. There's.
I think it's important to get that out.
Yeah. As a culture, we haven't taken it seriously. You have instances, and this is common, where you take somebody who is having thoughts of suicide or major depression, and instead of taking that person and saying, "Hey, you're important, your life has value, we're here for you," a lot of times you take them and you check them into a mental institution or a hospital where they're stuck in a blank, empty room for hours on end with no contact with anybody because they aren't allowed to have objects, they're not allowed to have books, they're not allowed to have blankets, they're not allowed to have anything that might hurt them. So you take these people that are already at the lowest point, who already believe that they don't have any worth, and you treat them like they don't have any worth. I've never understood how that correlates, how that's a good treatment for somebody that needs help. You take somebody that needs it or even wants help. If they do want help and they try to reach out and they get treated like that, they're not going to do it again. You might push them the wrong way. And it's something that I feel very strongly about. It's something that I feel that we need to address as a society, and not just in the veteran community, but in our society at large. coming out of the military, it was a huge culture shock. It was like going from 100 miles an hour to zero, just instant. Coming out, nobody talked about it. Nobody mentioned it. It wasn't looked at like a broken arm or the flu. It was looked at as something to be ashamed of. And as a veteran and any service member coming out and, you know, having that shock of being first while you're in, being told that, hey, you need to take this seriously, and then when you get out, the people that are supposed to take it even more seriously don't take it seriously at all, is it can be traumatizing. There's something about the Z community, and I used to say there was something about the car scene, the car community, but the more that I was around it, the more that I saw it really is the Z community as a whole. I think that just the camaraderie translates really well to you know, the veteran community and people who need that help, people who aren't really the most social. These cars are, like I said before, they're timeless. They have a way of bringing people together, and I've never met anybody that drives a Fairlady that didn't want to come up to you and talk to you about your Z, you know, or you go up and talk to them about their Z. They're not something about them, something about these cars. You know, they're not the kind of people that are gonna turn you away. It's a fantastic community, and I think it's a great support system. So it definitely was for me. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My biggest thing is I want to be able to help other veterans and help other people, because there's a lot of people out there that have it a lot worse than I did. I was very lucky to have the support group that I did coming out of the military, especially to have Saya. And if I didn't, I can't imagine where I'd be. So any chance that I can get to help out, to give back, it's an opportunity that I don't want to pass up.